Greetings, job seekers. Welcome to the first episode of DOLC On Air, brought to you by DOLC 2025. Days of Law Career, or DOLC, is an annual event known as the biggest law job fair in Indonesia, brought to you by the Career Development Department of Badan Eksekutif Mahasiswa, Faculty of Law, Universitas Indonesia. And DOLC aims to accommodate the needs of law students and graduates in providing career-related information such as job opportunities, internships, and guidance on pursuing higher education to help them become future legal practitioners. And ULC On Air is a podcast that aims to provide information and insights on specific issues and career-related topics. And through each episode, we take a deep dive into the speaker's experience in handling these issues. And in today's episode, we will be talking about women's rights, gender equality as a legal practitioner. My name is Tiara Noor, and I'm a third-year undergraduate law student who will become your host for today's podcast. And before we start, I would like to introduce you to our speaker for today's episode, Mbak Kirana Dia Sastrawijaya. So, Mbak Kirana graduated from the Faculty of Law, Universitas Indonesia in 2005, and she completed her master's degree from the Faculty of Economy and Business in 2008. And she's now a senior partner in Umbra and is one of the best power lawyers in Indonesia with nearly 2 decades of practical experience in the fields of power, energy, construction, and infrastructure. And she has represented major international and also local clients. One of them is PT Perusahaan Listrik Negara Persero. Now, please welcome our esteemed speaker, Mbak Kirana Dia Sastrawijaya. Hi, Mbak Kirana. How are you today?
Hello, thank you very much for inviting me. So, how I call you for this podcast?
You can just call me Tiara, Mbak.
Tiara, yeah. Okay,
Yes.
Tiara. Very happy to have these opportunities to be able to discuss with you, Tiara, in this very nice, interesting idea of the topics to be discussed as well. And I think that the OLC have been sometimes in our Faculty of Law, and I think that I'm very proud as well to see that all of the committees here can create something new like this, and then to also assist and support the other students, yeah, to be able to be ready for their work after they are actually graduate from the Faculty of Law. So I think congratulations, this is a very good program that you've been doing right now.
Thank you so much, Mbak, and thank you for taking the time to be here today and to share a little bit about your experiences as a legal practitioner. And I must first say that your CV is very impressive and it showcases a lot of experiences. But before we deep dive into the main discussion, I'm certain that the audience will be eager and would want to know more about your outstanding journey. So, with nearly 2 decades of experience in the legal field, what was your main motivation for founding Umbra? And can you share a bit of your experience from starting your own firm?
Thank you, yeah, Tiara. So, talking about the journey of becoming a lawyer, so I would say that lawyer is my passion. I really like to be a lawyer. Why I like to be lawyers? Because this is a profession where every day you always can learn new thing. Every day you will see challenges that every day you have to improve to always be good. You cannot be outdated in this industry. After you graduate, all of the knowledge and experience that you need to come into a legal and also to practical, it's a basically requires further updates learning process, so non-stop learning. Therefore, lawyering is very interesting for me, and I'm very excited to be lawyers because that's something on the field where I can basically do what I like, and in addition to that, I choose the field that I personally believe that I also can contribute to Indonesia, to the development of the, in particular in energy sector. So my focus is actually in energy, renewables, carbon, climate change, ESG, and infrastructures. And I'm personally feel very happy because Indonesia now at this stage is in the stage of the energy transition where this knowledge and also the things that I'm excited, it's also can also become my profession. So when you ask, why is my motivations to build Umbra? Because I have a vision where the Indonesian lawyers have to be excel in Indonesia. Can you imagine that we've been Faculty of Indonesia, we have so many graduates, we have so many alumni from the Faculty of Indonesia. But when you are actually come into a legal profession, you see that the market is actually being dominated and controlled by foreign lawyers. When we're talking about like the corporate laws, we are always talking, we are thinking, we are basically Indonesian lawyers. You have to think how you actually compete with international lawyers. This is Indonesia. This is Indonesia law. We the one understand. When you are in the negotiation table, you are the one have to be in front of the negotiation and then to talk and negotiate directly. Therefore, that I'm thinking to establish, including also with the other partners as well, and thinking to establish an institution where we are actually can develop and grow legal talents, educated, and then giving a lot of trainings and expose the lawyers into experience, into projects, into works, so they actually can excel, and to also grow the confidence to be an Indonesian lawyers, to be proud Indonesian lawyers. Meanings what? Meanings that you don't feel like you are basically second graded to like the international lawyers, and therefore what is important to do that? You need to be able to compete, you need to be able to improve your knowledge, you need to be able to say you are basically on the same table. Therefore that there's no other way. All of the lawyers, all of the graduates, we need to learn, we need to basically get more knowledge, get exposed with the experience. And from lawyer's perspective, why it is when you're talking about becoming a lawyer, it's actually not really important how old are you. It's not important. Why? The most important is the intensity when you're being exposed to transactions, to projects. You can have like very long ages of lawyering, but if you are not involved in the real transaction, if you are not exposed with the complexity, if you are not exposed with the challenge for lawyering, so you will not be able to become a good lawyer. And therefore that when we see those things, all of the partners, and when we talk, well, I'm very lucky as well because my partners are basically the friends, my friends, and also one of them is my husband as well, who has the same vision and mission about education, about having to have a vision mission to have the institution who can grow young lawyers, who can grow Indonesian lawyers, so we can be the leaders in Indonesian market for Indonesian law, because this is our country.
All right, thank you so much, Mbak. That was very inspiring how you walked through us, through your journey. And now we know more about your motivation and that you're very driven as a woman in the legal field. And I know that it must not have been very easy starting your own firm. So can you tell us a little bit of some of the challenges that you faced when you started Umbra?
Well, I would say that starting something new, I think it's not only for my firm and also I think for everything when you start something, the beginning is always the hardest. Always the hardest. So what is actually the most difficult part is actually to beat yourself and then to every day tell to yourself, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Because like so many challenges, like every day you want to cry, every day you want to stop, every day you see that this will not be successful. Every day you see the eyes of the people put doubts on you. Every day you see that, no, you cannot do this. No, you cannot do this. You see that every day. And then every day you have to convince yourself, yes, you can do this. So that's the most difficult part. It's basically to have the mentality to fight, the mentality to be leader, the mentality to success. That's the most difficult part because that's always something that makes people stop when they start something. Because when they start something, people will undermine you. People will say that, no, you will not be able to do this. So the only one who can make you survive is basically yourself. You said that you will not stop, you will do this. Because even though that the world say that you cannot, but if you believe that you can, then do that. give your best effort to do that. So I would say that the most difficult thing is the challenge where you are basically have to have this mentality. And then of course, other than that, when you want to establish something like Umrah, we are in the legal industry, in the law. So it is very important. So I personally, I will not establish Umrah. So after graduate, directly establish my own firm. Definitely from the knowledge itself, then you have to develop yourself first. You have to learn, you have to know, and then you have to be at the stage where you have the capability as well. Because I would say that I talk also with the fresh graduate, and they say they want to establish this directly after graduate. So that's also will not be easy if you don't have enough experience, enough exposures, so you can actually get the knowledge and also know how to get things done. So you have to be able to experience and expose with that too as well. So that's also important for your knowledge and legal skills as well. Yeah. And in addition to that, when you are establishing something, including in particular lawyers, what is the different lawyers with the other business? Lawyers ask, this is actually people business. The most important one is the people. So it's not if you are having like a companies or you are producing something, you are put that in the factories and then they just produce so easy. But when you deal with people, you don't know. You have to deal with their feeling. You have to know what their needs, and then they also have their own problems, and then they have to come. And there's so many people have their own thought. So that's also what makes lawyering different. So it's the other thing that also makes me feel that it is also difficult is because when establishing, and you have to basically manage the people, and basically because to establish the vision and mission, because I want to develop my people, I want to develop the lawyers. So the ones that the vision, that mission and Umrah have, we want to have a good Indonesian lawyers who can compete and becoming the leaders in Indonesian legal industry. So that's not easy to make a people to have that kind of ambition as well, to basically excel and also to develop themselves as a collective in the group, in the institution. That's not easy. So I think that's if you said what is the challenge, it's basically how to defeat yourself for not giving up, because every day you always think because it's too difficult, like the same like you're doing your thesis. Tiara, I said, this is so difficult, I will not do it. But suddenly when you just do it and constantly do it, suddenly it's already finished. So but you just don't stop, right?
So the biggest challenge is overcoming your own mentality and shaping it to always persevere, right? And
you scare, you think that it's impossible, you think that no one's actually like helping, that you feel alone. So that I think that the ones that we have to overcome that's very important. That's I think the one's very important.
All right, thank you so much, Ma, for sharing that. And that is very inspiring because it must not have been very easy, right? Especially as a young legal practitioner. Now, I feel like the audience would feel the same way and would feel the same admiration as I do. So now we can dig deeper into the main discussion. So without discrediting the significant role of women, how was your experience being a woman in the legal field, and have you ever faced any inequalities or any different treatment during your career as a woman?
So woman, I think it's very specific, and I would say that it's difficult for women when they come into the leadership position. So the one that sometimes that I personally sometimes I face myself, when you are becoming a lawyer, usually like this, because we lawyers is a business of trust, meaning that people have to trust you. People have to basically believe that what you said is actually correct. What you said is actually justifiable. So therefore, that sometimes the difficult one when you are a woman say something. Sometimes like people say that is it correct or not? Just because you are a woman, when you are saying it, you are a woman, then they basically before they trust it or before they believe it, they like second guessing because the ones that saying it is a woman. So that's also the things that make me struggle as well, because when like a lawyer man say the same thing, it's actually more acceptable when a woman lawyer say that. So well, you have to get used to it and actually overcome that too, because sometimes it often come from time to time, because like your clients that your counterparts, you've seen like this is like the male dominated industry. So that's something that sometimes you will see that, and then you feel that. So that sometimes makes you feel like, I cannot do this, I cannot do this. That's always something that always come to you and makes you feel like whether this is me, whether I can do this. So always doubt yourself. That one thing.
How did you overcome that? How did you put more confidence to yourself and persevere through what you faced?
Yeah, I mean that don't give up. So I'll also face that when I feel like when I try to lead in the for example negotiation table. Sometimes you also see that not all people can be happy as well, right? Like, why is this woman try to lead things so they don't happy, like being led by it sometimes happen, but I mean you keep doing it. One is the more thing, you cannot make everyone happy, you cannot make all people be pleased. Sometimes you see like people don't like it, or sometimes you see that there are people like that, but just going on, just do what you think actually it's correct. When you say something, this is what you believe, you do all of your research, you do all of your homework before you actually talk in the meeting, before you actually convey an opinion or view or a legal advice. You do all of the homework, do very good preparation. Preparation is very important. Therefore, that's what I do. Prepare before you come into the meeting. You prepare the legal documents, you prepare the legal basis, you prepare all of the facts. You know very well when you come into the meeting that even though that people said the questions your opinion, it's basically they doubt it. And then if you are ready, if you can answer to all that in a good way, and then they convince, eventually they will convince. But it takes time. I understand it takes time, but what I said is do a very good preparations. And it's basically when you do a preparation, then you get confidence in the meeting. So when you get confidence, then people will start to look at us, because the ambience actually creaking from yourself. Like when you feel like nervous or now, people will know it. People will feel it. Yeah. So, but when you do a good preparations in the meeting, even though probably not in one meeting, it's sometimes you say we come in a meeting and then they doubt you, but that's fine. Do it in the second meeting, but it's a progressing. But sometimes the first meeting is very important. So usually I do a lot of preparations and steps before the first meeting. So because the first meeting is the first impression. Yeah. So what I said, it's basically do the preparation and don't think about like you cannot make all people happy to you. So just focus on the people who actually can be supportive to you. Yeah.
Okay, well, that is very insightful. So we need to focus more on how we can present ourselves and in preparing ourselves. We cannot, always mitigate what other people. We cannot always guess other people's like feelings towards us. Right?
Yes, and sometimes you also like probably for like the new graduates, like yourself and the new grad. Sometimes you feel that. You also work when you are actually at the more like the highest level, or you get like the promotions. Sometimes you see that not people say that, oh, you probably get that promotions because you're doing other than all of the professional things. Sometimes you see that people doubt it, that you get that promotion, that you get that high level because of your skills and knowledge. You've seen that all the time. Sometimes you also have to deal with that as well, that you get it because you're pretty, because of you're doing something else. So it's not so you get that impression also. You have to fight, and then basically that you have to prove yourself. So what I said, that we as a woman lawyers, we need to work harder to prove ourselves. That's true. Right. We need to work harder, because the one that we have to convince is basically the people that have to put trust on you, because this is like the trust business. The legal business is trust business. While when we're becoming like a woman lawyer, this is not easy. Therefore, that work harder. Sometimes it's double or triple than the men lawyers. But that's basic that's basically the situation. So that's we cannot.
That's the hard
Yeah
truth.
yeah that's a hard truth. That's true. That's a
Yeah.
hard truth.
So, but with all the experiences that you've just shared and that you've been through, what steps have you taken to support women's emancipation, especially in your professional environment?
Uh, Thank you, Tiara. So I like these questions. Why? Because I believe one thing for women lawyers, because of some the perception on whether women actually can lead, whether women actually can do the analytical skills, whether women actually can do like the complex work and the thinking, like the thinking, the decision making, the thinking. That's always like the questions whether that's something that women can do. So what is most important is give the opportunity. Give the opportunity. So you give the opportunity and let them prove themselves. So sometimes what you need is just an opportunity, right?
That's true.
So when you get the opportunity that you know that it's not easy to get this opportunity, so you work very hard in the opportunity, that the small opportunity that you have to prove yourself. Therefore, that's why I also like in Umbra I'm leading this energy and practice group. So I also can give opportunities as well. So when I see that the women lawyers they have the ambition, so they always sometimes the one that they talk to me is they feel worried that like people will see them negatively when they are so ambitious, whether they want to reach like into the higher level. So they when they want to focus on their career. So I said that people have their own choice and no one can actually dictate you on what you love and what you want to do. If there is something that can make you happy, so I want also to give the opportunity as well. And therefore that I love as well that in Umbra as well, I mean that my practice group majority is women lawyers. And in Umbra itself, we have more than 50%, 50% of the lawyers are female lawyers, because we believe that giving the opportunities as well, it's not only at the entry levels, but we want women lawyers to also come into the leadership level. Well, in Umbra itself right now, course, from 7 of the principals, you only have like 2 women partners, but we are hoping and we are really supporting if like women lawyers, not only at the entry levels, junior or mid level, but we want them to be at the leadership level. We want them to be partners. We want them to lead, and we will support that. So like what I'm doing in my practice group, for example, I always give the opportunities for like women lawyers to speak, even though they are very young. They have to they are able to getting into like the opportunities to also in the workshop talking, sharing their thought. So they have the confidence, grow the confidence to yourself. So that's very that's I think that's the one that I think very important. And also we have like flexible working hours as well, so which I think that's also quite helpful as well for women lawyers. We're still work from home, I mean from the pandemic until right now. So we are actually the first law firm in Jakarta at that time where we instructed our lawyers to do work from home when the pandemic coming in. Yeah, so but until now we still decide that work from home is the best way for lawyers to do it, because what is most important for lawyers is not work hours. It's not that you are sitting in the office and then try to do something in front of your computers, but the most important one, what is your work products. It doesn't matter where you do it, it doesn't matter when you do it, the most important one is you do it. So therefore that for us when we provide the flexible work hours, so I think that's also give a lot of good opportunities as well, like for lawyers with kids, for example, so they can work while also spending time with their kids. But the most important one is you do your job as well. And we've also have integrated the technology and also the system in our office. So all of the documents, even the billing and invoicing, everything actually can be conducted online. You don't have actually come to the office. So you basically come to the office when you actually need to meet and also to discuss and then to basically bonding and also to get knowledge from like the physical connections, which still different when you're still doing online. But that's basically the most important one is we don't force you to just come to the office. We don't force you to do that. You only come when it's needed.
So what you have done is you provide job opportunities for female lawyers and also provide flexible working hours so they can also spend time with their families, but the most important thing is you push them into being a confident legal practitioner. So that is very, very inspiring, Mba. And we've covered some really valuable insights here today. Thank you so much, Mba, for sharing and
Thank
for
you,
giving your
Tiara.
insights on today's topic. I'm sure our listeners, especially the female ones, will learn a lot from it. And if we had more time, we could talk more about
Sure.
this. But unfortunately, this is the end of today's episode. But before we wrap everything up, could you give us a little bit of tips or advice for our young legal practitioners?
Thank you, Tiara. So I think when we're talking about the young lawyers when they start into the career, it's basically the spirit to learn and the confidence. I think that's the most important one. So the legal basis, we learn this in the Faculty of Law. So I believe that everyone graduate from Faculty of Law must have a good law legal basics, right? So that should be the assumption. That must be the assumption that we take into consideration. But the next step is basically when you're actually graduate, you're basically you just only know the legal basics, but the practical things and how to excel is basically how you want to fight and learn. So like you should find the first one is find a if you really want to be like a good lawyer, I don't know, anything that you want to do after you graduate is choose someone or a place where it can help you to develop. So you just don't go to work or just don't do like stuff you're basically like spending hours and but you learn nothing, or you don't work with someone who's basically just like doesn't like give you or like giving you into the opportunities for you to develop. So but once you get it, then basically focus on that and then give your best effort to do that, because in any case I believe that each effort will have their own way to show the benefit of you. It will take time, but when the times arrive, then you will know that the efforts will lead to something. That's something that you have to believe, and basically don't give up and always give your confidence.
All right, thank you, Mba. Those are some of the tips that I will be implementing in the future later when I start a career in the legal field. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
Mba
much,
Kirana,
Tiara.
for sharing your
Okay.
experiences. And before we end this episode, I would like to briefly recap what you have mentioned before. So, women emancipation in law faces challenges due to persistent stereotypes and also stigma. Women lawyers are oftenly judged harshly, perceived as overly critical or even emotional. But according to you, adaptation and confidence are very crucial in order to overcome this. And as a leader, you must forge your own path, and you have to be independent of societal limitations. And at Umbra, it is very inspiring how your firm has created many opportunities for women and also ensure that they will be able to grow better, especially as future leaders in Indonesia. And also by fostering a supportive environment where women dominate, the firm emphasizes that leadership is about capability, not only about gender, and empowering women to rise above the constraints imposed by stereotypes and stigma. And we would like to express our very most and utmost sincere gratitude to Yumba for being our speaker here today. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
sharing
much.
your experiences on the topic of women's rights, gender equality as a legal practitioner.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the and I really love your energy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and we really hope that all the viewers have learned a lot from you. And don't forget to follow DOLC social media for more content like this. Thank you once again, and we hope everyone had a great day. See you in the next episode of DOLC on Air. Bye,
Bye
guys.
bye.
DOLC 2025, Soar for Success.